My name is Melinda Latour, and I'm an associate professor at Tufts University. The title of the book is The Voice of Virtue, Morals, Song, and the Practice of French Stoicism, 1574 to 1652. I love the moment of discovery, and I think in this book there was such a transformation in my own understanding of these musical sources. I discovered early on that they were moral and philosophical in nature. They've been many times categorized as either religious or secular, and I think the discovery that this was actually doing moral philosophy, and then starting to discover that there's specific stoicism being communicated through these musical texts, transformed how I understood the purpose of these songs and how they were used in the period. I think the idea that song could be a source for the cultural history of philosophy is one of the main takeaways, that music was not just a byproduct, but actually integral to how people were thinking through moral philosophical questions in a very difficult period, thinking about how to manage emotions, how to deal with anxiety in a period of incredible chaos and death. And I think it changes. A lot of these sources seem very melancholy. They're very focused on death and dying and loss. And it changes when you understand the Stoic context. You can see that actually it's about hope, and it's about healing and really consolation, a kind of therapy for a really dark time. And I think that's something we can understand today. I think the idea of getting off the beaten path is one of the aspects of this research that I hope will inspire others. So much of this research was getting into sources and that are really not been looked at before, and digging into the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris. And much of it was even using my composers and their social networks as my guide, and beginning to just look at the books that their friends were actually writing. And so that led me to some of this social and really intellectual context, was through the networks that my composers were involved in this period.